Now, I ain't gonna lie. I heard about Duet Night Abyss from my boy, BranOnline. I've talked to him a couple times, and I asked him, seriously, I'm like, during TwitchCon, I was like, hey, what's your plans right now? And he goes, oh, well, I'm gonna be checking out Duet Night Abyss. And he went to the Tokyo Game Show. And I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. So as time went on, I've talked with Bran, and I've asked him, like, what is your take on Duet Night Abyss? And he told me, it's a great game. So, lo and behold, we fast forward a little bit, and closed beta tests come in, and I got in. I was able to get into the closed beta test 1 of Duet Night Abyss, and I was able to try it. And I gotta say, it's got a lot of potential. It's got a lot of great things going for it. Some things that I'm not too happy about, but a lot of great things about it that I think gacha games across the board could really benefit from. So, here is my review, or at least my pros and cons of Duet Night Abyss, right? And why I will probably end up playing this a little bit more. So, of course, first things first, we got to talk about gacha. Because it is a gacha game. And all gacha games are very predatory. It just really depends on how predatory a game could be. And I feel like this one is a little bit nicer to its audience. And the reason why I say that is because during which, when I was summoning, you had multiple banners, right? You had your standard banner, you had your weapon banner, you had your, not guaranteed, but your new exclusive 5-star character, and then of course a beginner banner. And the beginner banners are pretty standard when it comes to like new players, right? You have up to 50 summons in this one. You get 10 pulls for the price of 8 pulls, which is not bad. But the thing that I saw with this, and I compared it to Genshin Impact, and I do apologize for people getting mad, but Genshin Impact is probably the most experience in a gacha game that I do have. When you play Genshin Impact, it does have a beginner banner, but you get 3 multis, where 8, you can pay 8 and you get 10 pulls. And the best or not the best, but you're pulling on this banner to possibly get Noelle. And Noelle is just whatever. This one, you're actually getting a 5-star from the general pull, which is really good. And there's as you can see on the screen, I have Sybil, and Sybil is one of the characters that I went for. Now, of course, this is pre-recorded footage that I have on my YouTube, so if you're watching this, if you want to check out the live stream, we did live stream this for 2 hours. And I have played a little bit more since then. In regards to 50 summons, right? 50 summons is a lot, but you do have the opportunity to get yourself a good 5-star from this. And I do like that. Now, on to the actual banners themselves. And this is kind of just a, transition, really. Let's talk about the weapon banner first. And I want to talk about the weapon banner first because it's important that we get this straight. Why can't all gacha games have a guaranteed you're going to get the weapon compared to, oh, well, if you lose once, don't worry, you'll get it the next time. It's a weapon. I think that all weapon banners in all gacha games should be relatively easy to just kind of, well, not easy, but you get what I mean. To be able to get without having to worry about losing a 75-25 or a 50-50, however you want to say it. So I am very excited to say that the weapon banner in Duet Night Abyss is guaranteed up to 80 pulls, and you'll get the weapon that's there. However, there's also some other things that make this game a notch above the rest when it comes to the weapons. When it comes to the weapon banner, you don't have to summon on the weapon banner to get that weapon. And what I mean by that is there are blueprints in the game, and this will come with the forge thing in general, which is a big pro, is that you could forge so many different things in this game, including exclusive 5-star weapons. Now, I did not get that opportunity because I haven't been to that point yet, but I have unlocked the forge, and apparently you get blueprints as time goes on, and you're able to actually forge these exclusive 5-star weapons. So that's a plus, because I do think that overall, that's something that no other game offers, at least from a gacha standpoint. Fast forward to this, the regular gacha system, right? We're talking about the exclusive unit, and there are 2 versions of it. You can go through the generalized, where you could lose the 50-50, and, there's that. Or you could go for the 100% chance, and I don't know if it means, like, you're using your free-to-play currency to go for the 5-star 50-50, or if you're going for exclusivity, like, items. I don't know. I haven't researched that too much. I probably should have looked at that a little bit before I recorded this video, but I do know that there's a 100% chance of getting the character, so long as you summon on the 90. And we'll kind of dive into that a little bit more as we get closer to the release of Duet Night Abyss. I think it's cool that they offer that banner, if it's all for the paid stuff, because if you're a whale, you're going to be able to get your unit without having to spend at least as much money as other gacha games, right, in the space. So I think that's cool. I think it's really, really neat. As you can see, also, we're doing a little bit of movement in here with the Helix Leap, and the Helix Leap is its brand new kind of well, not really mechanic, but this is something that you see in Warframe, which is a multiplayer game that's kind of like alongside, you know, Destiny or anything like that. And it's a really popular game. So I'm really surprised that no other game has really used that movement system. And Duet Night Abyss uses it, and they do so well with the movements. I do think there are times when it gets a little blocky, but I feel like that's just how it's going to be with a game like this, especially since it's a gacha game and there's so many movements that you have to pertain to. But I think that how they implemented the Helix Leap and other movements like dodge, air dodging, or air leaps, basically, which is like you double jump. You have double jump in this game, by the way. You double jump, and then you could do what you would use for your Helix Leap, kind of, or it's weird. Like, you could double jump, do a spin dodge, and then actual dodge to kind of dash. So it's pretty cool. There's a lot of movement opportunities. There's a lot of different movements in this game that work really, really well and mesh really well. And I think, honestly, when it comes to a gacha game, this is probably the best movement type of gacha game that I've played. Gunplay as well goes into movement because you can shoot a gun in this game. You have your regular weapons, which are pretty cool, and they're very customizable with different paints and different, like, you know, well, the accessories are for characters, right? But the different colors that you could make these, like, weapons is really, really cool. But you also have your actual guns. And the guns are really cool as well because they could tie into your movement, as I was just saying. When you're aiming down with your gun or shooting your gun and you're jumping in the air, you actually do this kind of hover, right? And it's pretty cool, and you could do it while you're reloading as well. It feels almost like a Matrix style type of thing. So I really dug that about the gunplay. So I thought that was really cool. And again, as we talked about, there is weapon customization. You could change the colors of your weapons. There's 4 different colors that you could change, but you have to have paints, which are craftable, so you have to be able to get that stuff. But I think that's really cool to add customization to your weapons. It makes people actually, you know, want to play the game, get the weapons, and be able to style it in a way that works with the characters, right? Now, granted, I don't know if it's going to be one-time unlock of the color or if it's going to be a, you know, every time you change the color, you have to have a certain paint. Hopefully, if it is, you know, that you have to use the paints differently every single time, that they do allow you to find ways to farm the paint much easier. So that's my take on that. Kind of a double-edged sword with it. So, but I will say when it comes to movement, and this is going to be a con. I know that people have said that it's gotten better from like the network tests or the technical tests that they had before. But mouth movement during cutscenes is a little blocky as well. It doesn't look natural. It looks very robotic. And yes, we're talking about a game. I get it. But at the same time, when I'm looking at a gacha game, I don't want it to be just bare bones with the mouth movement. I want it to actually look really, really good. Same with the area design too. I feel like a lot of the areas in general are copy pastes of other gacha games' main areas, which I don't think that's what they were trying for. I hope that's not what they were trying for. But there are a couple areas that look very similar to other gacha games, and I don't know if that's what they were trying to do, but I just hope that they kind of updated a little bit more when it comes to that. Now let's talk about some more pros. The combat system. The combat system in general with the regular weapons and the gunplay is really, really good, right? But it also pertains to, like, or not pertains to, there's also stuff called combo meter. Now, the combo meter is something that you would see in kind of like a Devil May Cry game where, you know, you're boosting up your melee attacks and you're able to get your combo meter super, super high. But the combo meter actually plays into your melee weapons. Not your guns, but your melee weapons. when you're doing your combo meter and you boost up to, you know, a S rank combo and you hold down your charge attack, you're able to do more damage with your charge attack because of how high your combo meter is. So that's why, like, the combo meter is actually kind of important when it comes to playing the game. And I really do like that. I like that they're adding something along those lines to make it a lot more, I wouldn't say challenging, but more strategy. If you want to do more damage, you're going to up your combo meter to be able to do said damage, right? Now, there's a couple other things as well in regards to, you know, the combat, namely sanity. Now, why is sanity important? Well, sanity is kind of your energy system. And sanity is going to be the thing that you get to be able to perform your skills and your ultimates. So, there's no skill duration, really. You could keep on plugging in your skills so long as you have the sanity, and it also includes your ultimate. However, if you run out of sanity, you can't use your ultimate and you can't use your skill. It's a different way of going about things in regards to the skill and sanity system, right? So, very cool in regards to that. Sanity potions are dropped by enemies, so there's that, and that's always a plus, being able to get the sanity from there. So I really dig that. I thought that was really cool. Other combats are, you get the tactical backpack, which the tactical backpack is where you could actually go and like use two different characters alongside the main character you've chosen, and they can fight alongside you. They're AI combat, so that's pretty cool. And then you could also do emotes from there, which emotes are going to be craftable as well, or able to be acquired from the shop, which is nice. I do like that ability to do that. It adds a little bit of extra customization to your characters, and I think that's really, really fun. Now, as you're seeing here, we're looking at what's called demon wedges, which is the equivalent to like artifacts or relics. And what's really cool about these is that you're not farming for different levels of like the, you know, crit damage or something like that. It is a fixed amount on each set. So like if you're going to pull a crit damage of one and a crit damage of the other, it's going to have the same stat of like 10%, right? So you don't have to farm too much, it looks like. They mainly want you to focus on having fun with the game and not having to worry about, you know, having to grind for different percentages. And I think that's really nice. Really cool thing to do. Plus, another thing with demon wedges, and oh, sorry. This is what happens when you have long mustache hairs, right? The cool thing about demon wedges as well is that you could use the same demon wedge on multiple characters, multiple weapons, or multiple guns, right? So if you're using your, you know, Helix Leap one, which does anemo damage as you do your Helix Leap, you could use that same one on another weapon at the same time and not have to worry about, you know, oh, I have to go in here, take it off of this one, put it on this one, right? Or switch it between there. You could actually use it for multiple, so long as it's an all character one, all weapon one, that type of thing. Which there are specific character ones, like there is an electro character demon wedge as well that's mainly for electro characters and can only be used by electro characters or anything like that. So I do like that there's variety when it comes to that, but I also like the fact that you can have multi-uses or multiple uses of said demon wedges, right? So I thought that was really nice. Now, one thing I did notice was that right now is an ability to crash if you press a button that doesn't pertain to the actual like key maps that you have or the configurations that you make for your keyboard and mouse, which this does not have controller support yet, but I do expect them to make controller support. But like for me, I pressed the middle of my mouse wheel and it literally crashed the game, which was scary. I didn't realize that it could do that, but at the same time it was fine because, you know, it is a gacha game. It saves as you go. So not to worry about that, but I do hope they fix that to where like if I accidentally press down on my middle mouse, it's not going to crash me out of the game and I have to go through the login again. So, but yeah, there's also a couple other things too. What's really cool about this game, and you saw it a little bit earlier, is that they have dialogue trees with like conversation dice rolls, and I think that's really cool. It brings a little bit of a Baldur's Gate feel to it, and you actually have to pay attention to how you're talking to different citizens. If you want to punch somebody in the face and they give you a dialogue tree for it, you could actually punch him in the face. And I think that's what makes or sets this game apart from others too, is that you're, you know how we talk about in Honkai Star Rail where there's two different things and they mean the same exact thing, but it's just to continue the same conversation. With this, there's actually importance to how you talk to NPCs, and I think that's wonderful. As you can see, this game just crashed. This is actually from the video, but we're gonna fast forward a little bit to back when I logged back in. But yeah, so there's actually reasons to pay attention to your dialogue trees here, and I think that's actually really cool. Match you get from summoning, you could actually get more summons, right? That's normal with every other gacha game. But the difference is with Duet Night Abyss, if you're summoning so many times on a banner, you don't have to wait for a monthly reset to get more of those actual summons from the, I guess, standardized mats that you get from summoning, right? You know how every time you go through and there's a monthly reset, it doesn't look like Duet Night Abyss is going to have that. I could be wrong. They could update it. But from what I saw, there's not that restriction. So I'm very excited for that. And then the last pro I really want to talk about is commissions. Now, the commissions are what you're going to be using your stamina on every day. And what's really cool is that it has seamless rounds. And what does that mean? Well, you know how we go into, let's use ZZZ for example. We go in and we go to battle one of the disk drive stages. We have to go in there and then we have to press go again or go again. And sometimes because of how the day and night transition works, we have to go out and then go back into it, right? Now, or not that one for HIA, but I digress. What's cool about this is that it gives you at the end of it a ability to continue the round, and it makes the enemy stronger. It gives you more mats, but you have to use more stamina. And I think that in of itself is really cool that they offer that, because it's going to lead to a bunch of different challenge rounds. I think it's going to make it a lot more fun in regards to being able to challenge yourself as everything goes down. So I thought that was a really, really cool addition. Another note that I do have on here to kind of end it off is that I label this as a double-edged sword. I like to do pros, cons, double-edged swords. And we've seen this before with chess. And chess in games can sometimes be surrounded by rock. It can be sometimes surrounded by vines that you have to use fire on. I never like those types of things. I get it. But when I'm going through a map, I'm not going to carry a pyro character all the time. I'm not going to carry a earth character, geo character, whatever you want to call it. And it continues in here. And I think that it makes people play other characters, which is nice. But at the same time, when it comes to exploration, I'm not here to always play other characters. I'm here to explore and get stuff without having to go back and change it. And in this area itself, there is a Lumino chest, or not Lumino, Umbro chest that you have to get, and I think you have to have a Lumino character, and I didn't at the time have a Lumino character on deck, so I have to go back and actually be able to use a Lumino character. But I could be wrong. I've had a hard time with it, so. But overall, when it comes to this game, right, when it comes to how Duet Night Abyss is, I have a lot of hopes for it. I think that it has the potential to be one of the better gacha games. And I did have somebody say that it seems like the gacha market is getting saturated. It's because gacha is kind of the flavor of the year type of thing. Gacha keeps on getting bigger, bigger, and bigger. More companies are getting into it, and that happens. It's gambling. However, I do think that Duet Night Abyss has the ability to be I would say a favorite among the players in regards to the ability to get the characters and weapons that you want really quickly or relatively cheaply without having to make you spend a lot of money. It seems like they have a dev team that truly cares about the product. And I do feel that it brings enough to it that players are going to keep coming back and playing it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below what you think about Duet Night Abyss and what you're most excited for. Overall, I would say that I'm going to play this, and I'm going to do more studying on it. I'm going to keep playing the beta, and hopefully I find out more stuff that I didn't know about before. So, once again, this is Tyler signing off. Thank you so much, and as always, we will catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.